And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We always help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. We also help you win as a consumer advocate. Over 80 categories of consumer advocate, business owners, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, doctors, lawyers, so many different ways. Great home service providers, inspectors. There you go. Sean Febre chiming in there. Febre Frameworks in the house. Real estate photography, video. Manny Febre in the house as well. We got the Febre brothers with us here coming up in just a moment. Also, they have their Happy Hour Holidays podcast as well. You can check that out online as well. Before we do, a couple of hot listings, and then we also have a feel-good story of the day. Girl joins Mensa at 13 after scoring higher than Albert Einstein, even with no exam prep. Feel-good story of the day coming up on the show as well. A couple of hot listings here. We got 221 Howard Drive, beautiful property, Bel Air Beach, Florida. This is a multi-million-dollar listing from the Platinum MVP team. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot single-family home. This has a gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage on deep water access. Bring your boats, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida lifestyle, and take your boat out into the beautiful Gulf of America. Great opportunity here in Tampa Bay.
There we go.
1210 Paradise Lake, another Tarpon Springs property here, close to the Tarpon Turtle, close to Tarpon Springs, the Lake Tarpon there. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, 2274 square feet. We have a split floor plan. Great opportunity to buy real estate. Beautiful pool, screened-in lanai. Great opportunity here. Lighter color kitchen cabinetry and stainless steel appliances. Great opportunity at 1210 Paradise Lake Drive, Tarpon Springs, Florida, one of the best places to live, work, and play in all of Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right, only in America, baby. And you can go say hello to our friends over at Brio Tuscan Grill. That's the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Brio Tuscan Grill. I'm heading over there right after the show today. It's going to be a great meal. Meeting up with Michael Johnson with our yachting. He's our yachting expert, J Brothers Yachting. But we're going to have a quick lunch over there. But Brio Tuscan Grill, excellent food. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They got Monday through Friday happy hours, more bang for your buck. You get an awesome burger for it's very affordable, excellent food. Salmon fresca is one of their most popular items. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall, excellent food, wonderful staff, delicious food, and a great ambiance there. You can see all their information online as well. Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Manny Febre, Sean Febre in the house. Welcome back, fellas.
Yeah, I'm sorry to, keep you on your toes a little bit. You were saying doctors, lawyers. I'm like, well, he's missing the most key essential one.
Yeah.
Is the photographer.
That's right. Making it happen, man. Making it happen. The listings. You got to make the listings pop, Manny.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute, man. Honestly, Brandon, it's been a minute since we've been on the show. I mean, for myself, and I know we're keeping up with the babies over here. We got another boy, another rhyme coming in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I got my 2. My wife is trying to, basically have another kid, so we're gonna have a third one, but I don't know when this is gonna happen. But I'm just trying to stay away from her right now because it's a little crazy out there.
It's in God's hands, right? It's in God's hands, right? Leave it up to the big man upstairs. So it's a lot of fun, man. There, good stuff happening, growing the family, and staying busy. So we got to sell more real estate photography, right?
Yeah, and we got to sell it in the Gulf of America. And I noticed you mentioned Gulf of America. A lot of people try to tread around the topic. They want to call it Gulf of Mexico still. I'm really glad that you said that. Yeah. I was wondering, that listing that you had in St. Pete, I think it was on Howard Drive. Is that what it was?
It was Bel Air.
Bel Air.
Bel Air. That didn't get affected by the hurricane, it looked like.
No,
like
I think
Helene.
No, it may have had some light stuff going on, but it was right back on the market. Yeah, it was right back on the market very quickly. And and it's a beautiful listing. We're doing a lot of activity on it, open houses, brokers opens. And we're just waiting on that one to pop, man. Some nice listings around here. We got about 50 current listings. One of the things we do as well, which you probably know, I mean, we're listing commercial properties, vacant land, and residential. And we really like to talk to builders as well. We want to get more into the home, the new construction as well, and help some of the builders out there.
I'm glad that you mentioned commercial because you have a program to help business owners, small business owners, which I'm not sure if you've mentioned on the air before, where it's zero down to buy a commercial building. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, buddy, that's awesome, man. That's through Andrew QB with US Commercial and Business Capital, and he is a great lender. I'll tell you, I've worked with a lot of lenders over the years, and when it comes to business and SBA loans, he's got a really unique program. It's through the SBA. It's called the rent replacement program. So picture this. You have a business, yoga studio, personal trainer, could be an architect, any type of business, and they're in one of those strip malls. You know, they're renting and they're paying $10,000 a month for that square footage that they have, 3,000 to 5,000 square foot roughly. And then as long as they can show that they're making a profit, they've been in business for 2 years and they're paying rent on time, they can qualify for 100% financing through a business loan through the SBA. That's pretty cool. What are the
limits for that?
Pretty powerful, right? But I don't know a lot about the specifics, but I do know that if you meet those minimum criteria, you've got some income, you got to show a profit. You know how some business owners are writing everything off. You know, you got to show a profit, and you got to have a decent credit score. But what an awesome program! And here's an example that Andrew talks about too when he talks about that program. Is he did a deal for a tow truck company. So with that loan that they got, the new business, the new commercial building, they also got enough working capital to buy 2 more trucks.
Oh, wow.
So think about that. Yeah. The impact of a business to have that ability to invest in your business.
And the crazy thing is a lot of people don't know about that. A lot of small business owners don't know they have access to all this working capital and the ability to get a building. And that's what Andrew, I've talked to him before, and he was like, man, this is all you can do. Yeah. A lot of people do not know that you can get all this capital and get a building, which is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Manny, we've hijacked this show, man. We're interviewing this guy now.
No, it's okay. This is good conversation because you're a business owner. I'm a business owner.
I asked you about that question. But yeah.
And a lot of people are business owners.
We're supposed to be talking about Febre?
No. Right? No, on another note, the houses that were on the canal, I mean, I went out there just looking at houses or just looking at the areas. I mean, it's still a little bit of a war zone in some of those areas. I mean, people living in campers. I mean, still people repairing their houses. Yeah. I mean, it's even though life has moved on, they're still out there struggling to make it day to day.
And you mentioned something about the 50-50 rule.
Yeah.
And is that something that's also active not only in Hillsborough County but also in Pinellas County? The 50-50 rule?
That's a FEMA rule.
Yeah, that's a FEMA rule.
Yeah, so that's a FEMA rule. But I'm glad you brought that up because there's also a loan program. This is another one that people don't realize. It's called a 203H. Now, this 203H loan program, what it is if your property was destroyed or you can't live in it any longer, you can either be the tenant or the owner or the landlord.
Wait, what?
So it's called a 203H loan program. So if you had damage, you can get 100% financing. This one's through the FHA, the Federal Housing Administration. You can get 100% financing to go buy a new place. Now, again, you got to qualify. You got to have the credit. But what an awesome program, too, right?
Yeah, and I think it even goes for fixer-uppers, too. If you want to go ahead and buy a property and also be able to fix it, they'll give you the money for the renovations,
That's
too.
the K, 203K.
I think that's the K, right?
Yeah, 203K.
So then where's the tenant part of it? Because you said you could be an owner or a tenant. Who are you a tenant of? Are you a tenant of yourself?
The demolished house,
Yeah.
So there's somebody that owns that house, but you just rented it. So since you lost your housing, the FHA says, hey, let's give them an opportunity to buy 100% financing. But, hey, look, the government does a lot of things wrong. Those are a couple of the programs they do right.
Yeah.
VA, 100% financing for veterans, that's another program that the government does right. As much as people complain about the government in certain, places, and by the way, we're cleaning it up. There's a lot of stuff going on. I want to get to tariff talk because that's a big topic of the day, tariffs, But I do want to get to that. By the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Manny Febre and Sean Febre. They are owners of Febre Frameworks online at FebreFrameworks.com. That's FEBRE, FebreFrameworks.com. Got a lot going on Instagram as well. Check out the Instagrams and happy hour holidays as well. Let's jump into the tariffs. I want to kick it off with just a clip here. One of my favorites is Peter Navarro. He's in the President Trump's cabinet in terms of, he's known mostly as a China hawk, but here's Peter Navarro.
We're here in a world now where the world, through unfair trade practices and industrial policies, have turned us from a manufacturing country into an assembly country. We're trying to get back to being able to manufacture autos for national security purposes.
I want to pause right there. So he's just talking about, manufacturing, and then the ability, just like in World War I and II, we switched a lot of our manufacturing from making household appliances to making war machines. We got to go win the war. Right now, if we were to have a big fight, we may not have that capacity that we need. So that's number one. Number two, he's going to make another big point right here. Continuing.
And to bring with it prosperity. I go first and foremost to the fact that we have very low capacity utilization in our factories here in America.
Okay, so he talked about capacity utilization, right? Because what a lot of the pundits on the left will say is that, but that's going to take years and it's going to be so expensive. No, it doesn't. A lot of our factories, they're not fully utilized all the capacity, whether it's during a day shift or even adding an extra night shift on to be able to manufacture whatever you're manufacturing, whether it's washing machines or automobiles. So the capacity, what he's saying is that our capacity of our manufacturing facilities is not there. It's not 100%.
I think with a lot of individuals, whether it be on the left or the right, they see all these tariffs that Trump's putting out, and they don't realize that countries have been tariffing the United States since 1913.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize is these reciprocal tariffs are actually working. Vietnam dropped their tariffs. I think it was also,
Israel?
Israel dropped their tariffs. Canada now back down with the PM that was not elected. Okay.
Yeah.
So for everybody crying out, these tariffs are going to make the cost of living go up. I don't know about you, but since Trump has been elected, my cost of living has gone down.
Yeah.
Gas has gone down, grocery prices have gone down. But how is it fair that Canada had a 300% tax on butter made in America sent to Canada?
Yep.
Gary.
But all of a sudden we say, hey, we're gonna tax you exactly the same, and then they cry hell and high water.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not fair. Reciprocal tariffs are actually helping the American people out, in my opinion. And then with the formation of the ERS, the External Revenue Service, whenever that actually gets completed, is going to be more beneficial to the American consumer than anything else.
And then with the European countries, I mean, after World War II in the 1940s, we literally let them put tariffs on our goods to help them rebuild their economies. At this point, your economies are rebuilt. It's time to take those tariffs off and be equal.
And then let's talk about Marine Le Pen. Okay, they sentenced her for 2 years house arrest and 2 years suspension for redirecting political funds to her campaign.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, so that's the French opposition. Mm-hmm. Bro, that's been going on with US Aid for how long?
Right.
And nobody's been arrested in America for that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to blame Pam Bondi. She said, hey, we're going to release the Epstein list. It's on my desk. Or at least that was that's what she said. And then she did some kind of political stunt where she pulled out these binders to influencers and says, here you go. And then she's blaming, hey, Kash Patel, can you at least get your FBI in order for them to give me the rest of the documents that they said they were going to give me? Kash Patel wasn't the director of the FBI at that point. But where's the result there? There are some things that, promises made, promises kept. For the most part, yes. But there are still some promises made that have not been kept. Yeah. And I blame that on the Department of Justice because Pam Bondi hasn't been doing her job.
Well,
in my opinion,
I don't know the details on that, but I want to talk about something going on in Florida that's a big talk right now. The property taxes.
Oh, abolish them.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see if we can pull that off and to what effect. Is it going to be significantly reduced or totally eliminated? I don't know. What's your thoughts, Manny?
Well, I think, my brother was talking about another point, too, that, Florida has a surplus of, what was it, 400 or?
It's like $4 billion.
$4 billion that we give back to the government because of tourism.
Oh, no, $495 million is what we gave back to the federal government, but our economy has a surplus of somewhere around $4 billion.
Yeah, I mean, after you own the property outright, you really don't need to be paying taxes on it anymore. It's your property.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no reason to do that. The federal government doesn't need any more money from us in order to run their system,
Yeah,
and then if Doge is able to find all these savings within the congressional budget that they have allocated to all these NGOs, Well, then why the hell are we paying property taxes?
But Elon's only allowed to be on staff for 130 days, which is coming to an end, and then after that, he's got to restart at the next year.
Well, as long as he can leave his guys there too. Yeah. Some of those guys are going to stay. I mean, you're talking about the founder of Airbnb, literally rocket scientists working on this, and a lot of it is tech support. It's like, hey, these are systems, these are complex systems. And then there was also that story where they deleted some of the information that they thought they deleted, and then they were able to find it.
That was at the Institute of Peace or something like that, and where they were providing funds to known terrorist allies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In Iraq, and also I think it was Afghanistan, I want to say.
Yeah, it was interesting. We got to take a quick break, though. More with Manny, Febre, Sean Febre, FebreFrameworks.com. and ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. We got a feel-good story of the day later on in the program. The girl joins Mensa at 13 after scoring higher than Albert Einstein, even with no exam prep. Feel-good story of the day coming up later on in the program. Stay with us here. Follow us online. We'd love to connect at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show, and subscribe to the YouTube, Rumble channels, podcast channels out there as well. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, a couple of commercial listings, and we're going to go back to the Febre brothers here. 9594 Maricamp Road in Ocala. This is a great new listing, beautiful property that we have listed up in Ocala, Florida. 5,725 square feet, almost an acre of land. Thriving hardware store with multiple income streams, lucrative income streams coming in. There's multiple pieces of this property that are rented out, creating cash flow. Seller financing is available with a strong down payment and offers multiple income generating opportunities. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road, Ocala, Florida. Another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team, commercial listing from the Platinum MVP team. 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey. We have a chiropractor office currently listed up in Newport Richey, Florida. 2337 square feet, over an acre of land. This is set up as an office building. So, of course, it could be any type of professional building. It could be other types of business. Doesn't have to stay as a chiropractic office, but it's a great opportunity. You got ADA compliant entrance, plenty of parking, over a dozen paved parking spaces, 2 full baths, 2 half baths, and a rear screen porch and paved patio area. New roof installed in 2020, and beautiful property. Photography compliments of Febre Frameworks as well. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com. All right, we got Manny Febre, Sean Febre in studio. How's the business going? How's Jeanette? She's office manager and doing a great job over there.
We just promoted Savannah to general manager, and we hired on Lorena. So we're growing the team.
Nice.
We're really growing the territories and everything. But it's really challenging right now in the real estate market. I mean, just doing the bare minimum with photos. I've seen a lot of increase in Zillow 3D tours.
Yep.
So, I mean, you really got to be creative with how you're marketing your property now, especially with so much competition and so many price reductions. I mean, just in general, as far as like pricing the home, I mean, you really have to be aggressive on there and make sure you're pricing it where you're getting multiple offers, which isn't, it's hard because you're giving away a little bit of equity there. But, I've been seeing a lot of videos, reels that realtors have been doing now, and it's been helping their listings out, as well as, different kind of with the skies and stuff like that, really creating a story almost. Right now we got a video that's either dynamic or it's more like a story of the property.
Yeah.
And you have two options to really be creative there. But, I mean, you just got to really put in a lot of effort into advertising the properties.
Right.
And, really show them on Zillow because, I mean, that's where everybody's
the
looking.
Lifestyle. You're selling the lifestyle. Yes, the house is great, but you're selling the lifestyle. What's around it? What can I go do? I can go boating over here. I can go golfing over here. That's what your equestrian area. Yeah. You bring your horses, right? You're selling that lifestyle no matter what you're doing with your real estate.
And some of the new videos that we are doing is kind of highlighting what you were talking about, Brandon. Is it's almost like a 3D Google map, and you're zooming into, let's say, you're next to the Bucs Stadium. You're zooming in. We got to fly over the Bucs Stadium. You're zooming into a strip center that has a lot of grocery stores. I mean, we're just showing the location there to really get you thinking, hey, I can live in this area.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean, I know you're a big Tampa Bay Rays fan. You like to go to the ball games. What do you think about Steinbrenner over there?
Man, I think it's wonderful. The Rays have had what I saw on their on their Twitter or X. They have sold out every single home game this season so far. Now, mind you, the average attendance at the Trop was 16,000. The number of seats at Steinbrenner Field are 10,046, I think is what it is.
It's only 16,000 at Tropicana?
Yeah, that's their average attendance.
Well, the
average attendance.
Yeah,
not as many seats as they have. I think they have like 35 or something.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So they're selling out every single game, but that's still good because, I love it just to drive down Dale Mabry and go park at right across the street, take the Skywalk, and then you're in the stadium. And the ticket prices that I've seen, like the Pirates game over a couple of weeks ago or, a couple of days ago, it was only $140 for the suite tickets. And the suite gives you unlimited drink, unlimited food. I mean, how can you go wrong?
That's worth it.
And you're in the shade.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's great. It's a really cool place to be. And the Rays, it'll be interesting to see. One of my friends, I bumped into him at the Innisbrook golf event, Valspar. And it just reminds me of what a cool job. He actually throws BP for him. That's his job. He's full-time BP, travels wherever they go, throws a batting practice. So what a cool job. All right, Febre Frameworks, final thoughts around real estate when agents are, looking to get photography. What's your final thoughts around Febre Frameworks?
Yeah, man. When it comes to the agents out there, make sure you don't go cheap. I mean, there's a lot of one-man operators there, and they can supply you with a $100 package. But at the end of the day, you're going to get somebody who's reliable, who's predictable, and it's quality every single time. And we have an office; it's 8 to 5. You're not somebody who, hey, I'm at a doctor's office. No, our office is open during business hours. You can contact everybody that we have there, and you're going to get quality. Pictures.
Very professional.
Yeah, very professional. So there isn't a lot of companies like us out there, and we recently put into AI, who's the number one real estate photography company in Florida, and it was Febre Frameworks.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. First-hand experience, first-class operation there. Febre Frameworks, long-time friends of the show, going on probably close to 10 years now. We've been working together, so we appreciate you guys. By the way, it's an open invite every month, so you come in next month. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be several weeks since you were on last time. So, all right, thanks for coming in, fellas.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Coming up, Jenny Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. She is a wealth of knowledge, all things related to real estate, title insurance, and more. Coming up here on the program. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Girl joins Mensa at 13 after scoring higher than Albert Einstein, even with no exam prep. Feel-good story of the day coming up. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Jenny Restrepo joining us in studio, Insured Title Agency. On the program, we're going to talk about property fraud alerts, how you can protect your properties. Also, a recent story about a title theft incident that actually got caught, and it looks like they're going to get booked and serve some time potentially. We'll talk about that here coming up with Jenny Restrepo. She's a title agent rep over at Insured Title Agency here coming up on the program. Feel good story of the day later on. And before we do, a couple of hot listings. You know, we like to feature our listings live on air. It's a strategy that helps us sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of our real estate listings. We've got a great listing here at South Taylor Road, vacant land for sale, so you can buy some dirt here, invest in Tampa Bay real estate at 2.5 acres MOL. This is zoned RDC6. That's for duplexes and conventional. So potentially put some duplexes, triplexes, quad on this land. It says, per the owner, says it's high and dry. Flood Zone X requires no flood insurance. South Taylor Road, Seffner, Florida. A great investment opportunity. Buy some dirt and build and invest in real estate. One of the best places to put your money, of course, in Tampa Bay. Great opportunity there in Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, we got another listing, 221 Howard Drive, one of my favorite listings here. This one's on Bel Air Beach. Beautiful property, multi-million-dollar listing from the Platinum MVP team. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single-family home. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances. Saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage on deep water access. Historic Howard Drive boasts one of the highest land elevations in the area. And your 1 block to beach access. Bring your boats, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest, and take your boat out into the bay and the beautiful Gulf of America. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Jenny Restrepo, welcome back in.
Thanks for having me. And just to touch on 221 Howard Drive, Insured Title Agency has also already done the title search, the lien search. Everything is clean on that one. When you check out this property, look on the kitchen counter. There's going to be a beautiful book that we set up for the Platinum MVP team.
Yeah.
It includes an example of your buyer's title, closing costs, an insurance quote, lending options, all of the above. So when you check out a listing with the Platinum MVP team, they go above and beyond to give you as a prospective buyer everything that you need to know so you can make that offer the day you see it, because you know that's the right property for you.
Yeah, exactly. And the owner is motivated there. Great agent Aaron Foley on our team. That is a great property, beautiful property listing there. And what a great area. You know, we love that area as well. The lifestyle, a lot of times in real estate, you talk about the bricks and the mortar, the square footage and all that. But it's really about the lifestyle. What a great lifestyle living on the beaches.
Oh, no, I'm an experienced person. So my profile on DISC is a high I. So it's all about you can go on the pool, you can go on your boat. It's definitely a gorgeous home. I've been there in person. So, Insured Title Agency is happy to partner with the Platinum MVP team on all of their listings. Make sure that when you're looking at it, not only do you get to just see the bones, but you can dig deeper on that property and know that there's not going to be title issues. There's not going to be any surprises that come up before closing. You're going to have an idea about how much those closing costs are. So the team really goes above and beyond so that as a buyer, you know everything before you're even making the offer. And we're happy to partner with them on that and make beautiful books that sit right there on the kitchen counter for your easy accessibility to all this information.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And you're very involved in the Greater Tampa Realtors, Pinellas Realtor Organization now combined, and you were involved with the legislative session. What's kind of the breakdown from that trip to Tallahassee and I guess multiple trips to Tallahassee over that time frame?
Yeah, so we take a whole delegation. Florida Realtors has over 240,000 members in the state of Florida. We are the largest trade organization in Florida. So we have a whole day in Tallahassee. It's actually a couple of days where we go as a group, all the Florida Realtors, and we meet with our respected elected officials and talk to them about things that matter in our communities as relating to property rights and home ownership. So this year, as we went to Tallahassee, that was at the beginning of March, we had our group that reflects Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County. And what we talked about this year is obviously affordability and our legislators staying on top of making housing affordable in the state of Florida. We also talked to them about continuing to protect our state parks from over-commercialization, having clean water initiatives, because those things are natural resources. Our beaches, our waterways are part of what attracts people not only just to visit, but to invest and retire here.
Yeah.
And then some of the other things is just continuing to look at what's going on with condos and how can we address the need for safety without overburdening residents and homeowners, many of them who are seniors, who are on fixed income. So there's some things that they're voting on and some things that are on their radars, but those are, advocacy is a very important thing. We've asked them to continue to fund Hometown Heroes, which is a down payment assistance program, and perhaps taking the whole amount of money and breaking it up into quarters so that that money is available throughout the year instead of just, one block that goes very quickly.
Yep.
And so when we go, we do have the ear of our elected officials, which is great because when they're listening to us, they're able to understand better the issues that matter to their constituents in their communities.
Yeah, the realtor community is such a big lobby, as you mentioned, and one of the biggest challenges I see, you mentioned condos, that's of course kind of a big area, but also insurance. Insurance is a major issue right now, and it's kind of one of the things that I see that potentially some of the opposition could say against DeSantis. One of the things, he's done so many things right. I agree with a lot of the things that he's done. He's made our state one of the most popular states to move to. I mean, international buyers, number one in where do global buyers buy? 20% buy in Florida, 13% in Texas, 11% in California, 5% Arizona, 4% in Georgia. So people are still buying here. By the way, Canadians are number one. Florida accounted for 41% of all U.S. home purchases by Canadians last year. So there's a lot of things we're doing right in Florida, but it seems like insurance got off the track, and that's a powerful lobby too, those insurance companies. Is there any talk about that with something to help, because the situation arises where you have damage, you have storm damage, something along those lines, and the insurance companies know that it's now it's one-way attorney's fees. There's not this, where they can basically lose if they lose, the presiding party has to pay both sides, right? So it's kind of changed.
I'm not really seeing a lot of movement out of Tallahassee that appears to help homeowners versus help insurance companies. But I did see a program that was recently launched by the city of Tampa where they are trying to help city of Tampa residents with some of the burdens that come with storm damage, because even if you have insurance and your insurance company is going to complete those repairs, you still have a deductible.
Yeah.
And so then do you have the cash for that deductible? So the city of Tampa has put together a program that they recently launched and are making citizens aware of on their website and on their social media that includes even help with meeting that insurance deductible so that you can complete the repairs on your home and get them done more efficiently.
That's helpful. Yeah, a lot of people underestimate how much they actually have to come out of pocket before their insurance actually kicks in.
Correct.
And you're seeing a lot of these insurance companies understanding that, hey, the rules have changed. There's no longer the threat of having, to the prevailing party, the whole way it changed. So now that's a challenge. I see that's one of the biggest challenges. I want to move on also because this is interesting. You help keep us up to date in title theft, and there's been some interesting developments. And this was a Tampa Bay case that you talked about.
So there was a case of title theft here in Tampa Bay. The man tried to steal title from what I think was a relative of his. And the best part about this story is that the homeowners were quickly alerted because they had signed up for property fraud alert. So I know I've talked about this on the show before, but if you haven't heard me talk about this, hey, listen up. But if you haven't heard me talk about this, Property Fraud Alert is a free service. That's what I said, free. They don't pay me to say anything about this. But it is a free service that allows you to have your home title monitored by the clerk's office of the county where you live. So our greater Tampa Bay area is covered. All you have to do is Google Property Fraud Alert and your respective county and get signed up for free. And then when you sign up for free, select text alerts. So that if anything is recorded in your name or in the name of your business, you will be alerted via text message so you don't miss that email. And you will know right away, because knowing as fast as possible is the best way to see this undone quickly without the headache and hassle of it going to the next step, which is these criminals are not trying to steal your title just to own your house. They're trying to steal your title because they want to try to sell your house to an unsuspecting third party, to over leverage it, to get another mortgage on it. And you living there and already having a mortgage does not deter them.
Right, because
they know the tricks.
Yep.
They know the tricks to make that look like that's not a thing. They can put it into their names, and then you don't even know it. And especially if you have investment properties where you're not residing in this property, you can register all of your properties, even if you live in Hillsborough but own something in Pinellas. Get everything registered. Get your elderly family members. Get them registered. It is free. It is run through our local government, and you will be notified. So this is a success story. The day that it ran on our local news, I think 1,500 people registered that day.
Wow.
But we're still underutilizing this free service.
Right. Yeah.
So get registered for Property Fraud Alert. Be aware of what's going on with your title, because owning it just now, owning it forever, having a loan on it, living in it, none of those things are stopping these criminals when they set their sights on your property.
Yeah, because the way that it's all done is an old way. You're basically, they're satisfying the mortgage. They're recording satisfactions of mortgages, and that's showing a zero balance. Now they can go out and get a new loan on that property. And vacant land is one of the biggest targets.
Yes.
We see vacant land as a target because you're not walking in, looking at the kitchen, you're not doing a tour. It's just vacant land. It's dirt. It's sitting there, and it has all this value. So they can, the perpetrators can go in there and steal the money. We had Matt Cox on the show, who was introduced by Kevin a long time ago. But yeah, it's interesting because these guys are smart. They know how to steal, and they will do it.
Well, Matt Cox will tell you, back in his day, which was in the early 2000s, you had to have people, a physical person, to go to the courthouse, a physical person to go into a title company and collect a check. And nowadays, everything can be done electronically, which is obviously for the convenience, but it is helping the side of the criminals in that it's now faceless, and many of them are getting away with it.
Right.
I actually just received at the title company today an executed contract for vacant land where we helped that agent make sure that she had the rightful seller, because she didn't.
Oh, boy.
Somebody contacted her, found her, online, on Google, on Facebook, whatever, wanted to sell this vacant land, was coming up with all of the typical red flags, and she did the number one best thing, which was reach out to us when something seemed fishy. And I actually helped her track down the correct and rightful owners. She did end up winning the listing with the real owners. Yeah. And now it is under contract, and she already has that peace of mind that this is going to move forward because we have all the correct parties.
Yeah, great job. That's awesome. Yeah, you got to be diligent these days. And it was funny, kind of funny, but not. But with the Matt Cox story, he would go to Vegas. He would go to Las Vegas, and he would put a polo on, and he had something printed like US Census or something on his shirt.
Yeah.
And he would pay these junkies like $150 or $50 and says, hey, by the way, I'm doing a survey here for the US Census. What's your name? What's your social? What's your date of birth? What's your, he'd collect all this important information that you should never give out.
Yeah.
And these people are just looking at, hey, I'm going to get a free, or I'm going to get another fix or a meal or something. So yeah, sad story. But it happens. We just want you to know, property fraud alert is what you want to look at.
Yes.
And if you just joined us, we're talking with Jenny Restrepo. She is with Insured Title Agency, insured-title.com, and she can help you with all of your real estate closings as well. One of the things when you're looking at selling properties is to make sure you're working with a reputable title company, reputable, real estate team, mortgage team, and that's what we do on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're bringing these stories to light in a way to be a consumer advocate. So you can reach out to the show hotline if you'd like any information, 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. The direct hotline is 813-917-1894. That is a number that you can text as well, and that's our consumer advocate hotline as well. All right, quick break. More with Jenny on the flip side. Also, the number of households in the area. Guess how many households that we increased from 2020 to 2024. We're going to touch on that when we come back. The number may surprise you, and the number of households increased in Tampa Bay, that's Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, from 2020 to 2024. Go ahead and get your guess. Write it down on a piece of paper. Show your friend, and we'll see if you're right. Also, feel-good story of the day. Girl joins Mensa at 13 after scoring higher than Albert Einstein, even with no exam prep. Feel-good story of the day coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies, and you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for spending some time with us here. Thanks for supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. We're in studio with Jenny Restrepo from Insured Title. And we want to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. We would love to talk to you. Got a hot listing here at 10711 Old Sycamore Loop. Beautiful property, Lando Lakes, Florida. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2046 square feet, single family home. You have stainless steel appliances, lighter color kitchen, cabinetry, and bathrooms. You got a beautiful lanai, 10 by 16 lanai, that is, large fenced-in backyard, and the community features a beautiful pool with zero depth entry, playground, hiking trails, and more. Check out 10711 Old Sycamore Loop in Lando Lakes, Florida. Motivated sellers there. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 1905 Masters Way. Got a property out in East Hillsborough County. This one's 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage, 29 square foot, single family home. 0.38 acre lot with no backyard neighbors, split floor plan, Florida room, expansive windows, and Walden Lakes. The community has walking trails, dog park, playground, sports complex, and access to the lake for non-motorized vehicles. Check out 1905 Masters Way in Plant City, and you can see all of our 50 current listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, feel-good story of the day. 13-year-old Sophia caught a Curie has been invited to join Mensa after scoring 162 on an IQ test, the highest possible for her age, surpassing the scores of Einstein and Hawking. Despite her busy schedule at school and no preparation, Sophia achieved this remarkable feat. Her mother, Cecilia, described her as smart, bubbly, and well-liked, with a passion for coding, ballet, musical theater, and piano. Sophia's late grandmother, a mathematician, likely inspired her love for math and coding. All right, there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. And back to studio here with Jenny Restrepo. So we kind of teased this question before the break. The number of households in the area, that's Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, increased by nearly 6% between 2020 and 2024. That's 71,037 households. Jenny, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I drove here, so I believe that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Especially this time of year.
We just opened up a whole new bridge that is the same width as the old bridge.
Yeah.
I was like, yay. So the Howard Franklin is a new bridge, but it's still the same amount of lanes.
They didn't add a lane?
No.
I was just assuming that there would be more lanes added. What?
No.
Somebody needs to get fired over that.
I drove across it, and I was like, counting lanes. I'm like, hello,
it's the same amount of lanes.
Yes.
What is going on here? I guess the water runs off better.
I mean, I thought that they were going to actually have all of it, but no, it's that the old bridge is going to be retired because it's in such disrepair.
Yeah.
I guess it's cheaper to build a whole brand new one than to fix the existing one.
I tell you what, I got a deal under contract right now. It's a $3 million deal, 15 acres for sale over by USF. I got a developer, been under contract 2 years. $3 million deal is a nice size commission for me.
Right, sure.
But I'm losing it. It's most likely going to die because of a bridge. Speaking of bridges, it's a small bridge.
You told me about this.
Did I tell you about it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the county, or the city or county, I forgot which one.
No one wants to take responsibility for it.
Well, they're making the developer pay $3 million, or making him redo the bridge, which is $3 million. So to me, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? I got a buyer ready, willing, and able. I got a seller.
It sounds like we need to get into bridge building.
Yeah, who knows?
The real business is bridge building. So, let's maybe start.
Well, it shouldn't be my buyer's fault, and it shouldn't be my seller's fault. It should be somebody else's fault.
If it's a public use bridge, I don't know why one individual private owner would be responsible for.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're trying to dump it on the developer, and they won't even let them just reinforce it and do that, which would save about a couple million.
Maybe there's a grant or something for that. No, that's all getting cut.
We've been looking all over the place. But anyways, so short-term rentals is another big topic here in Tampa Bay, Jenny. A lot of people like to buy real estate, rent it out short-term. So here's some of the recent changes. Occupancy cap of 10 people, including children. Clear definition of a bedroom, according to Florida statutes. Quiet hours from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. And I think that's one of the biggest, right? People come in town and they have their bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, etc.
Well, you've got communities that were built as residential communities. Their hotels are built and they're different zoning for a reason.
Yep.
So if you're living in a neighborhood where you want your kids to be able to ride their bikes on the street, you don't want transiency.
Yep.
So not the insinuation that everyone that's renting a home is necessarily going to bring a bad element to your neighborhood.
Yep.
But the transiency in neighborhoods that were never designed for that, I think, is what we're trying to meet in the middle between individual property rights, but also home ownership and community, what's best for the community.
Sure.
And I know it started off with condos where the condo associations were really cracking down on what their rental rule policies were.
Yeah.
Because if you're a retiree and you've bought this nice waterfront condo, you don't necessarily want, college kids coming in and spring breaking every other weekend in your building. And so I see both sides of it, that obviously there's a need for investors to be able to invest in real estate, but there's also a need for communities to be able to establish, safe and predictable communities for their families.
Yep. Well, here's one of the kickers. They have a 24/7 hotline for immediate compliant resolution with extended code enforcement hours, 4 p.m. to midnight. So if you ever wanted to take a second job, maybe you want to answer that phone?
No, thank you. No.
Me neither.
Well,
I would not want to answer that phone.
I will say, though, kudos to the city of Tampa. That is, obviously, I live in the city of Tampa, but there's a vacant lot next door to my house, and something was going on, and there was a bunch of police officers there one day, and then the next day my partner came home from work and he said, "Did it rain today at the house?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Why is there all this water in the street, like in the gutter?" They had knocked something over, but at 6 p.m. we were able to contact the city of Tampa and the water department. They got out there and they fixed it because it was just flooding water.
Yeah, that's good.
We do have some services in the city of Tampa where they will help you, and because it wasn't my land, but I didn't want this to keep on going.
That's a good response time. Yeah, good stuff. All right, Jenny Restrepo, Insured Title Agency. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, and reach us on all the socials at Insured Title Agency, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our producers. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer